up, bros? Welcome to the All Bros podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we are a couple of sick bros. We just cannot catch a break. Or at least I can't.
I was going to say, it's more so Caleb. Literally, poor guy had COVID less than a month ago, and now he's already got another cold.
Yeah, I don't think it's COVID, though. So.
Thank God. But it finally hit me.
But yeah, finally got you. Luckily, it wasn't. I don't think it was me that gave it to you, so.
No, dude. I'm pretty sure it was someone at work.
Fair. So, anyway, we're a couple of sick bros that love to watch and critique movies.
That's all we can do right now.
Yeah, right. But also enjoy a lot of bit of the nerd life. This week on the podcast in 4K Spotlight, we have a new movie coming out. Obviously, that's kind of what's 4K Spotlight's for. Anyway, I know. This is going to be an interesting episode. Okay. And through the wall, we have some gameplay footage for a new game that we are both super excited to play.
Spent way too much pre-ordering on.
Yeah. And then we also got a trailer for a cool Netflix series, which I thought was worth talking about. I know we don't, discuss TV shows that much on this show. Other than, Marvel related. But this one just seemed, so much fun, and I just kind of wanted to bring... I don't think it's getting enough attention.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you on that one. Yeah. I mean, hell, I just heard about it from him, so yeah, you can definitely tell it's not getting enough attention.
Yeah, so... And then, after that, we will be breaking down Encanto.
What a movie.
What a movie. Oh my gosh, can't wait to talk about it.
Yes.
But with that, let's say we get into the episode.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, I'm Crash, host of the podcast Crash and Taz's Movie Cellar. On our show, me and my co-host pick a new movie each week and rate each movie on a few categories that we think are important to making a great movie. After we rate the movie, it gets a final rating, and that lands it somewhere on our cellar scale, where it will get labeled as either a well, premium, or a top shelf film. Catch us on platforms like Spotify, Google, Amazon Music, and more. And don't forget to follow us on social media. On Instagram as Crash and Taz's Movie Cellar. It's Crash, the letter N, Taz Movie Cellar, with underscores in between each word. And on Facebook, Crash and Taz Movie Cellar. Where you, as a listener, can suggest movies for us to rate, and also give us some constructive criticism to make the show more entertaining. Overall, don't forget to follow or subscribe, and rate and review us, and get ready for an entertaining show with us. See you guys then.
Dude, I've been playing a bit of catch up on his show, just because I was down and out for a little bit. Yeah. But I immediately, after it got released, listened to his Spider-Man No Way Home episode, because I was going to rip him a new asshole if he did not give all 10s to the movie like he did for ours. I was like, if he even critiques this a little bit, I will throw a bitch fit. I was waiting for him to hit me up with a 9.9 or something like that. I'm like, no, if it's not all 10s, I will be throwing a fit. But luckily, spoiler alert, he did. So
okay.
Anyway, getting into 4K Spotlight, we have a new release this week. Rose, do you want to talk about this one?
I would love to. So this week on 4K Spotlight, we got Ghostbusters Afterlife coming to 4K.
Sound like you said Ghostbuster.
Wait, what?
I said it kind of sounded like you said Ghostbusters.
That's the ripoff in Russia. Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
So this unfortunately isn't getting any store exclusives, which is kind of bullshit. It's not getting a Steelbook or anything. So, but it is getting a Ghostbusters Ultimate Collection box set that comes with, of course, Ghostbusters 1, 2, and Ghostbusters Afterlife. And just because Paul Feig kind of threw a bitch fit, saying that his movie is considered in the Ghostbusters, franchise, but yet, okay, someone on YouTube explained this very well. They only have to put his movie in if it's called Ghostbusters The Complete Collection. If it's called Ghostbusters The Ultimate Collection, which it's called, they can just include the first two and this third film, Afterlife. They can just push 2016 aside, like I know a lot of fans would like to do. But because Paul Feig, however the hell you say his last name, threw a bitch fit on Twitter, they decided to, and I don't know if this was the plan all along, but they are including Ghostbusters 2016 or Ghostbusters Answer the Call, as they're doing like a digital download of it. So it's not getting a physical disc in the box set, it's only getting a digital download code.
Freaking good. Like, that doesn't deserve another physical copy.
So as far as I know, pre-orders of this have already actually sold out. It was... Wait, what?
I said, damn.
Yeah, both Best... I haven't seen Target carrying it, but I know Best Buy and Amazon have. I pre-ordered mine from Amazon months ago when this was first announced. Shocker. $100 later, but I feel it's worth it. It was originally, when I first pre-ordered, it was like $130.
Holy
but
shit.
then it got marked down to $100. So I'm like, thank God. I can more so justify $100. But from the looks of it, you actually get like a lot of cool like add-ons and all that fun stuff. So I'm really excited for this box set. Because, yeah, better justify. You know what? It's sad is, knowing me, I'm probably just going to buy Ghostbusters Afterlife separately, 4K, just because I don't know if I even want to open this box set. I don't know. I might just keep it as collector and not open it.
I mean, that's fair. Like, just for collector's purposes, like, that's totally fair.
Okay. Thank you for justifying my decisions. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to come back into stock. If it does, I definitely recommend you guys pick it up, because this looks like an awesome set for big Ghostbusters fans. So like you said, it includes 1, 2, and Afterlife, and then a digital download code to Ghostbusters Answer the Call for anyone that actually likes that movie. That was mean.
There's probably not a lot of people that do like that movie.
Yeah.
At least not like true fans of Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Like, anyone who likes that has never seen another Ghostbusters.
Speaking of that, if you've never seen the original Ghostbusters, I'm sorry, I don't think you're human.
Yeah, you're wrong.
But actually there is another new release coming out this week as well, and that is Clifford, the Big Red Dog. Did anyone actually go see this movie? Actually, it did have a pretty good box office, so people did.
I actually watched it the other day.
Dude, me too. It wasn't that bad. It was, I don't know, it was like, I mean, it was bad, but, it was innocent.
I'm trying to think of, like, what movie I would compare it to. It's tough, because, like, I know exactly what formula... Oh my gosh, I can't talk worth a shit. I know what formula they followed. Yeah. I just can't, like, think of the name. It kind of gave me, like, maybe Curious George vibes.
Oh, yeah, I can agree with that.
Which I know Curious George and Clifford are pretty much on the same, like, network.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that.
Now I know. Bedtime Stories. That's the vibe it gave me.
Yes, I would absolutely agree with that. Yeah, no, it's really not that bad. If you guys have Paramount Plus, like, check it out. Especially if you have kids, I think they'd enjoy it. I will admit though, when he like is first introduced as like a little puppy, the CGI is so bad. It's god awful. But when he actually becomes
it wasn't any worse than when he was big.
It
disagree. Just stood out more when he was small.
Okay, fair enough. Because when he's actually big, it doesn't look half bad. At least to me, it didn't.
Okay, you want to know why I think it stood out so much when he was small, but not when he was big?
Why?
Because I think, like, subconsciously, you know that, like, what puppies look like when they're small. Like, you have, like, an actual, like, real-world comparison. And so when it's not moving realistically or it's doing, like, weird shit, it stands out more than when he's big. Because when he's big, you don't have a reference for a freaking 10-foot freaking dog.
That's what you think. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, it was...
You've never heard of Bifford, the big blue dog.
Oh, shit. But yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't, like, great either.
It wasn't the worst, like, children's book to movie adaptation. It doesn't disgrace the source material. It's just fine.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that.
That's like the biggest thing that I always ask when they adapt like a children's book that I used to read as a kid. It's just like, okay, the only thing that I ask, I know this isn't for my age demographic now, but just don't disgrace the source material, because Clifford was the shit when I was a kid, and I read those a lot.
I actually didn't know it was based off of a book for a really long time.
That makes me sad.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving
on.
Those are the two releases.
Moving on to Through the Wall, we got a new... I kind of feel like it was a surprise trailer. It was a surprise gameplay trailer, because it felt like it came out of nowhere. That, like, I don't feel like I saw any announcements about this or anything.
No, because literally every single time I would go check to see what the release date actually is for this game, it was announcing like the end of this year. So it was like saying December 31st, 2022. I'm like, okay, well, I guess a nice birthday present to me, but that sucks that we have to wait that long.
Yeah. Ooh, almost had a sneeze there.
Oh, I was like, wait, was I supposed to pick up from there too?
Nope.
I didn't have anything else to say.
I just needed to take a second there. Yeah, so we got a trailer, our gameplay trailer for the Skywalker, or Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. And I am genuinely beyond impressed with what we got. And with what we're getting. Like, seriously, holy shit.
This, like, I can already tell this is going to be the best Lego game to date.
I think it's going to be, like, maybe a tough sell with the new gameplay.
Okay, fair.
I think that might be a little bit, like, hesitant. But everything else looks incredible.
Yeah,
the graphics look incredible, dude. Like, the way that we were talking about it in the past was, it was always like a remastering of all the games, and then including episode 8 and 9. But this is a complete overhaul.
Yeah,
like new game, or new game mechanics, new everything. They are just they started from the ground up and built something awesome.
Like, comparing how they showcased Obi-Wan and Anakin's battle is in episode 3 in this one compared to how it was in the first Lego Star Wars, it's night and day. Like, oh my god.
Dude, it looks so good. Like, oh my gosh. And just the other mechanic, like, the only mechanic that I'm kind of worried about is what's multiplayer going to look like.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Like, if they even have... Actually, I'm going to look that up real fast. Like, see if they even, like, include that information. Because, I mean, I won't be upset. I'll be, like, a little bit bummed out if they don't have multiplayer for this.
That'd be kind of dumb, considering every LEGO game before them has had it.
Yeah, and that's kind of, like, one of those appeals about it, too.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Let's see the GameStop version. Or look it up on GameStop. It doesn't say.
That's weird.
At least not on GameStop. Okay, there is going to be a local co-op gameplay.
Okay.
What's up in the air, however, is an online co-op. So that actually, like, makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree.
But this is, like, super exciting. Like, they have so many different, like, game mechanics to this now, where you unlock, where with different characters you can unlock, like, basically upgrade characters, give them different abilities that will help you unlock different things throughout the game. Everything kind of seems more like a, I'm trying to like think of how to like explain the gameplay, but like it's like a better, it's more like a third person view, like, but that's, I don't know how to explain, like you kind of get what I'm talking about, right?
No, yeah,
like the view from, it's like, imagine like any other Star Wars or Lego Star Wars game, or just any Lego game in general. They kind of have like the minifigure in a third-person view, but it's kind of like set far away. In this, it seems like it's like they zoomed up a little bit closer to them, which seems nice. They have some really cool battle mechanics that I saw when it comes to like lightsabers or blasters or any of that fun stuff. I'm excited to see all that in action, but what I'm really pumped for is the free roam aspect. Like, did you see the free roam stuff?
Yes, I did.
There were like a bunch of different planets that you can go to. Yeah. And when you're traveling to those planets, you jump into a ship, go into like hyperspace, and like fly your way over there, which I'm assuming being in hyperspace is just going to be the loading menu. And then when you get to that planet, there's I forget what the percentage chance, like, but there's just some odds that you're going to end up in like a Lego or like a dogfight before you're able to like enter the planet. And so you like have to defeat all the people, and then you can like fly straight down into the planet, and then it will be like you can land and everything and free roam on that planet. That concept is so cool.
Yeah, it really is.
And did you see the freaking, or did you hear the freaking numbers of how many playable characters there are in this?
Mm-mm.
Over 300.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, this game is going to be massive in scale to any other Star Wars. Like, even if we had like a situation like, I don't even like, okay, maybe like DC Superheroes 3, where you had multiple planets that you can go to, but you only travel in like the circle of the planet. Even if we only had a situation like that, I hope we don't have like the circular planet, because those became really hard to navigate.
I never played Lego Batman 3, so
Yeah, it was really hard. You were flying around a globe, and it became really difficult to do stuff.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, and it was not good. It was not good. As long as we don't have that, but maybe the scale of the the planets is the same, where maybe like where they just have like bigger planets that you can go explore and go do stuff like that. That seems way more interesting to me than anything else that they could do.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, but I am excited about the possibilities of this, and I haven't been into like Lego Star Wars games for a while.
Oh yeah, dude. I think I rented Lego Star Wars through the Clone Wars from Blockbuster back in the day, but I never actually really bought it and played through the whole thing. But I do remember buying both the first and second and just absolutely loving those. So I cannot wait to crack into this one.
Yeah, this is going to be so freaking cool.
And the biggest thing that was announced, I feel, was everyone was like, come on, they gotta do it. They are doing it to where you can actually turn off them doing the voiceovers, and you can bring back the old Lego, what were they saying? Called
Mumble mode.
Yeah, mumble mode. You can bring that back. And that is the greatest thing, I feel. Was it Traveler's Tales? Isn't that who makes the Lego games?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel that is one of the biggest gifts that they can give to Lego fans that have been here since the beginning. So, yeah, I am so excited for Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
Dude, this is going to be so cool. You can play all 9 stories, like, of the movies, at any, like, starting with any trilogy that you want.
I love that. You don't have to unlock them.
Like, you have to unlock the movies, or like, like 8,
yeah.
like 8, 9, like, so you can start with 1, 4, and 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you could choose which trilogy you start with, which is great.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Gamestop features right now. They have over 300 playable characters. Wow. You can travel to 23 different planets.
God damn.
And there are going to be more than 100 vehicles to collect.
Wow.
So you can jump to light speed in the Millennium Falcon. You can battle the First Order in X-Wings. You can pod race on Tatooine. Dude, like, let's see. You can also join dogfights and defeat ships like the Super Star Destroyer that can be boarded and explored.
Oh my god.
This is awesome. Like, this is insane, dude. Like, this is absolutely insane. Yeah, and then, so if you pre-order, or not pre-order, if you purchase the deluxe edition of this, you get even more characters, which is just holy shit. You'll get a Mandalorian pack. You'll get 2 Mandalorian packs, one from season 1 and one from season 2. You'll get Rogue One,
that's
like a character pack. You'll get a Solo character pack. You'll get the Star Wars Bad Batch character pack, the classic characters from like the original games.
That's so cool.
And then you'll get like a trooper pack.
And you're only spending $10 extra for this. It's so worth it.
Yeah, that's insane. That's like insane.
Yeah. So go pre-order it, guys, if you want to.
Yeah, I don't know if these will be available day one. I know I was talking about this earlier, but it only says that the Trooper Pack will have day one access. if you pre-order the game. So I do not know if you'll get the other packs day one, but you will get them. So, like, that's
either
gonna be
way. I'm most excited about the Rogue One and Solo. So
I'm excited about the Mandalorian pack.
still need to finish that show.
Oh my gosh, dude! And Book of Boba Fett is also freaking killer.
That's what I've heard. I heard a lot of people. Some people weren't the biggest fan of Episode 5, because that's what premiered today, right?
Yeah,
because it's kind of like just like a setup for the Mandalorian season 3.
A little bit.
Boba Fett kind of just like took a.
He was like he
to the
wasn't even
side.
in the episode.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was seriously just the Mandalorian, like the entire episode. And I'm like,
What the
okay,
fuck?
like I really like this show. Like I love the show. I feel like the show it has been getting a little bit of hate, at least from what I've seen, because everyone's like, "Oh, it's super boring," or it's like it's really slow, and I'm like, but it's giving you a lot of like Star Wars culture. And I really like that kind of stuff. So, like, I think it just adds to like a richness of characters we already are familiar with.
Yeah.
So that's why I really like it, but I did not care for this episode. I'm like, you guys could have just made this a Mandalorian, like a surprise Mandalorian special or something. I don't think any of us would have been mad about that. But
fair enough.
To throw it into the Boba Fett show and not have Boba Fett in it until like the very end. He wasn't even in it. He wasn't even in it. When I say that, like, oh, you didn't have him until the end, you did not mention the story that we've been following until the very end. Like, the Mandalorian has been on his own freaking mission the entire time, like the entire episode, and then the end, like he comes back to like this dock on Tatooine and comes out and he's just like, "Oh, someone was asking for you. Oh, who?" And then she, like, the chick that's helping Boba Fett out comes around and she's just like, "I am. Like, Boba Fett needs your help." And he's like, "I'll be right there. I got something to do first." And then he's like, "Cool." And then the episode ends. Like, that's, like, seriously, like, the last, like, 3 minutes of the show.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like, as a Mandalorian episode, freaking dope. As a Boba Fett episode, not.
Speaking of new shows really quickly, have you watched any of Peacemaker?
No, not yet.
Dude.
Is it good?
It's so good.
Oh, I'm excited.
So good. Dude, I remember I was not the biggest fan of John Cena and the Suicide Squad. Like, his acting sometimes doesn't do it for me. He's proven me wrong in this show. He's really freaking good. So, dude, check it out as soon as you can. It's so good.
Okay. Yeah, I've been trying to make my way through. Like, I'm mid-season on a bunch of different shows.
Oh.
So I'm trying to, like, finish those seasons up and then, like, start on, because I like to just binge through everything.
That's fair. Because,
so,
starting tomorrow, there will be 5 episodes of Peacemaker on. I don't know how long the season's supposed to be.
If I remember right, I think it's supposed to be, like, 8.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Anyway, 5 episodes isn't bad.
No.
Cool. Anyway, getting back to the Star Wars. So far there are only 2 pre-order bonuses. The first one is from GameStop, and they, like, when you pre-order this, they'll give you a mini X-Wing kit for, like, Lego. So it's just
get it because it's Lego Star Wars.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And it's kind of dumb because they say it's a Poe Dameron's, but they're like his iconic X-wing fighter from the Rise of Skywalker, and it does not look like that at all. Like, it just kind of looks like your basic everyday X-Wing. The other pre-order bonus is if you go through Best Buy, you get a Steelbook cover for the movie, or for the game.
For the movie. And I think I'm starting to convert Caleb into at least video game Steelbooks, and I couldn't be more proud.
That is the one thing that I did say. I was like, okay, like, these Steelbooks are super cool, especially, like, I think I just got, like, a really good first one.
The Guardians one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember. Did you like the Avengers one?
That one was just like the Avengers A, right?
Well, so that was if you bought like the big set. For the other Steelbook, if you pre-ordered from Best Buy, it was the A on the back, and then it was the Avengers on the front. I'll have to send you a picture.
Yeah. So, I if I'm remembering right, I do think that I really like that one too. But I think it was just this one was just a really good first one for me to see in person, because it was like a custom artwork of the Guardians, and it looks sick. So yeah, then I was kind of sold on Steelbooks, but like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But the Skywalker Saga Steelbook, do you want to take a guess what it is?
I mean, wait, I already know what it is, though.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to
ruin
that for you.
Yeah, so the Steelbook is just a giant Han Solo frozen in carbonite. Like a Lego Han Solo frozen in carbonite.
What I appreciate, though, is it's like Han Solo from like the original Lego Star Wars 2. It's not how he's looking in this the Skywalker Saga. So
yeah, dude,
appreciate
do
that.
you remember that you were able to play as Han Solo in carbonite?
I do.
I thought that was so cool.
That was so awesome.
Anyway, I don't know what the back of this looks like, but the front is awesome.
I think the back is just literally the back of him. I'm pretty sure.
Not even upset.
I feel it wouldn't have made sense if they would have done the back any other way. It would just look weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, only other thing that I think they could have done is just put the plain Star Wars logo on the back.
That's fair.
Like, that's.
I mean, they could always do that on the inside.
That's true.
I mean, hell, they might actually have like Star Wars on the left, and then on the right it says "A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away."
Yeah,
I would actually love that. I think that is a perfect Star Wars Steelbook right there. Actually flip those. I'm sorry. Yeah, the long time ago on the left, and then the Star Wars logo on the right. Wow.
Yeah, but that's super cool. So
yes.
I'm really happy about that. So yeah, go get the pre-orders, everyone.
Yeah. Spend $75 like me and Caleb.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. My wallet still hurts. It's worth it. Yeah. It's worth it. It's worth it.
You gotta love spending money that you don't really have.
Yeah. But
at least for me, I just hadn't been paid yet.
I mean, I haven't been paid yet either, so I did have to dip into savings a little bit for that, but it's okay. It was worth it.
We'll see.
Dude, it freaking better be worth it. I want to be kind of... It better not be another Marvel's Avengers again.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely not.
Because that game, like, detracted me from pre-ordering games up until this game. This is the first game
Same
I
here,
pre-ordered.
Man. Same here.
Yeah. See? So it was the first game I've pre-ordered since 2020.
Jeez. Alrighty. Moving on to our last bit of news. There's a new Netflix series coming out that looks super fun, called Murderville. This is featuring Will Arnett, and he is playing a detective named Terry Seattle, and he is teaming up with a different celebrity guest every episode. But the catch is, the celebrity guest does not have a script. So we are going to get to see the legitimate acting chops of some of our favorite celebrities. So like I said, we got Will Arnett playing Terry Seattle, and some of the guest detectives, I guess, or assistants, are going to include Kumail Nanjiani, Annie Murphy, who most people would recognize from Schitt's Creek.
For a second, I thought you said Eddie Murphy. I'm like, wait, what?
No, Annie Murphy.
I was like, he was not in the trailer. I would have known. Yeah.
Let's see. We got Sharon Stone, Ken Jeong, Conan O'Brien, and Marshawn Lynch. So there's 6. I think I named 6. So yeah, six shows, or 6 episodes, 6 special guests, and those are all 6 of them.
I think I'm the most excited for Conan.
I'm most excited for Kumail.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't know.
Kumail and
Conan
Ken.
Since wait, what? I
said Kumail and Ken.
Yeah, Ken I feel is my second, then Kumail is my third. But I don't know. Ever since Conan, ended his show, I've honestly missed seeing the guy. So I can't wait to see him back on the big screen, not big screen, but back on my television. And guy's very funny, so I'm excited to see his improv chops put to the test.
Dude, I'm excited because you see a lot of these celebrities like breaking character.
Dude,
which is just hilarious.
Dude, freaking Will Arnett keeps adding to Conan's like last name.
Like, I think it's just like keep adding until Conan breaks.
Like, they're just like, oh, my name's like Paul Eberstein Aubert. Yeah, that's not even the actual name. But yeah, literally it was just word after word after word. It was the longest middle name I've ever heard. Not middle name, last name.
Yeah, but this seems like a super fun show. I felt like it was worth bringing up just because of the interesting concept.
Oh yeah, and the cast alone.
Oh yeah. Like, just not giving a lot, like, people acting in the show a script. Like, this is either going to end up being, like, really dumb and, like, super stupid, or it's going to be hilarious. And I'm hoping hilarious.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the latter. I really am.
Yeah, so be sure to check that out. That comes out on February 3rd. So yeah, just a few days after this episode gets released. Anyway, so I believe that is everything that we have in Through the Wall. So with that, let's say we move on to our headliner. Let's do it. Alrighty, for this week's headliner, we will be breaking down... Oh shit, is this Pixar?
No, it's not.
This is Disney. We'll be breaking down Disney's newest animated movie, Encanto.
I love how he has to pause. Like, wait, shit, is this Pixar?
Because I know if I said Pixar and it wasn't Pixar, I would catch a world of shit for it.
I would. I really would. And for those that want to know, this is actually Walt Disney's 60th animated picture.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. But, alright, if you guys are new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we individually score to come to a final All Bros letter grade. And the 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, effects, music, costumes, and then we give it our own personal grade at the very end. And then all of that magic gets added up together, thrown into our magical algorithm, and then spits out a letter grade for us to compare to other movies. So, without further ado, Rose is about to spoil the entire movie for you. So if you have not seen Encanto, do yourself a service and go check it out.
Yeah.
It is on Disney Plus. Like, you have no reason not to.
I mean, unless you don't have the subscription, that would be your excuse.
I mean, that's a pretty good reason, but still, like, you should have Disney Plus.
Yeah, because this movie deserves every viewing it can get, because unfortunately, didn't have the biggest box office, but from what I've been told, it's definitely making up for it on Disney Plus, so thank goodness.
That's interesting how that works.
Yeah, right?
It's like, ooh, you mean people with children can watch a children's movie at home as many times as they want, which children tend to do?
You don't say.
Like, dude, legit, Iris is 3 years old. We've already watched the movie like 3 or 4 times.
I was about to ask that. How many times has Iris watched Encanto?
Yeah, she's like, what did I say? How old did I say she was?
3.
She is not 3. She's not even 2.
Dude, how sick are you? You don't even know your own daughter's age.
Yeah, I know, dude. I'm freaking, like, losing it. Apparently, COVID brain's, like, a real thing.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
And, like, it affects you, like, long after you've actually had it. So, yeah, I've just been losing my mind. But, yeah, so she is not even 2 yet. And we've already watched the movie, like, 3 or 4 times. It's insane.
I love it.
Like, shocker, Disney, that your movie did a little bit more popular during a global pandemic.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
All right.
So, yeah, without further ado, reading with Rose, everyone.
Yes, and I'm going to try my best to say these names how they should be said, but if they come out weird, I apologize. It's because, COVID's a bitch, but I feel it should come out okay. All right. Forced by an armed conflict to flee her home, a young Alma Madrigal loses her husband Pedro, but saves her triplet infant children, Julieta, Pepa, and Bruno. By a miracle, her candle attains magical qualities, blasts away their pursuers, and creates a sentient house, the casita for them to live in, along with a magical hidden town bordered by tall surrounding mountains, and Encanto. 50 years later, the candle continues to burn, and the town thrives under its protection. The candle's magic grants superhuman abilities to each Madrigal child, which they use to serve the villagers. However, Bruno, vilified for his gift of precognition, thank you, disappeared 10 years earlier. Meanwhile, Mirabelle, Julieta's youngest daughter, is treated differently for mysteriously not having received a gift. Pepa's youngest son, Antonio, is gifted with the ability to communicate with animals, and the family poses for a picture but neglects Mirabelle. I don't know why. It feels like this is kind of skipping over his whole ceremony, but okay.
Well, I mean, what would you have added to his ceremony?
I don't know. I would have like definitely added how she still lives in like the nursery, and with Antonio leaving, it's literally just her now. Everyone else has their own door.
True.
Which is very sad. It's sad.
Super sad. It's freaking depressing, dude. Like, this movie like hits you hard in the feels.
It does. She suddenly sees the casita cracking and the candles flame flickering, but her warnings go unheeded when the casita appears undamaged to the others. She resolves to save the miracle's magic. The next day, she talks to her super strong older sister, Luisa, who suggests that Bruno's room in a forbidden tower in the casita may hold clues to the phenomenon. There, Mirabelle discovers a cave and recovers pieces of a slab of opaque. I think that's how you say that word. Opaque, thank you. Emerald glass, which forms an image of herself being the cause of the failing magic. After Mirabelle narrowly escapes the cave, Luisa discovers that her gift is weakening. Later that evening, Mirabelle's oldest sister, Isabella, who can make flowers grow at will, is scheduled to become engaged to neighbor Mariano Guzman. Mirabelle's oldest cousin Dolores, who possesses superhuman hearing, blurts out that she overheard Mirabelle talking with her father about Bruno's vision. The casita begins to crack again, causing everyone's powers to go haywire, ruining the night and Mariano's proposal when Peppa inadvertently conjures a downpour.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
This I kind of have a problem with, like saying that it caused everyone's powers to kind of go haywire. It only caused the shapeshift. Shit, I need to pull up a cast list. Like, because it didn't cause. What?
How do you forget Camilo?
Okay, Camilo. Like, it only caused his powers to go crazy and Luisa's. Like, did anyone else's powers go crazy?
Isabella's did. Because, like, the flower, remember the flower pops up from the ground and punches, what's his name, Mariano in the face?
Okay. I'll give you that one. But did anyone else have, like, crazy surges?
I don't think so. Well, yes, Antonio, all of the animals start running out of his room.
Yeah, because he can't, like, communicate with them anymore.
Okay, that's true, but isn't that technically the same thing? Like, their powers going haywire?
I mean, that's not as going, like, crazy as... Alright, fair enough, you got me.
Alright, who else we got?
I was going to try and justify it, but I can't.
The only one that I can justify is Dolores, because I don't really think that hers was that affected.
Yeah.
I mean, now she just can't hear from far away. Isn't that really the only thing that's affected with Dolores?
Yeah, pretty much. But, like, I guess she was the only one that was generally unaffected.
Yeah.
So, anyway, whatever. Don't listen to me.
Hey, you know what? You put up a good fight. But...
It wasn't even that good of a fight.
Mirabelle follows a rat. There she encounters Bruno, who reveals that his vision of Mirabelle could have put her at odds with the family and potentially the townsfolk who relied on the magic for their everyday lives. So he broke the vision and went into hiding to protect her, concealing himself within the house walls so he could still be near them. At Mirabelle's urging, he reluctantly conjures another vision, which shows the casita's inevitable destruction and an image of Mirabelle embracing a young woman whom they identify as Isabella. Mirabelle apologizes to Isabella and accidentally provokes a cathartic confession. Isabella does not want to marry Mariano and is burdened by her image of perfection. Mirabelle helps Isabella blossom into her true, imperfect self, and they embrace, seemingly strengthening the candle and healing the cracks. However, Alma sees the two of them with Isabella growing whatever she wants and accuses Mirabelle of causing the family's misfortunes out of spite for not having a gift. Mirabelle blames Alma for the immense pressure she imposes on the family. Their rising argument creates a fissure, I think I said that right, fissure, that demolishes the casita, and despite her efforts to save it, the candle dies in Mirabelle's hands, leaving all of the Madrigals powerless. While the family and several locals assess the damage, a guilt-ridden Mirabelle leaves the town. After a few days of fruitless search, Alma finds a tearful Mirabelle back at the river where Pedro died. She explains how, in her determination to strengthen the magic, she ignored the toll it took on her family and finally takes responsibility for what happened. Finally beginning to understand her grandmother, Mirabelle tells her that despite her flaws, she is the one who brought the family together. As they reconcile, Bruno appears and confronts Alma, but unexpectedly cheers her up with his return. They reunite with the Madrigals, and the townspeople arrive to help them rebuild the casita. When the house is finished, the Madrigals give Mirabelle a gleaming doorknob with her as well as the family's initial on it. When she places it in the front door, the magic springs back to life, restoring the casita and all the family's gifts. The Madrigals pose for another family picture with Mirabelle and Bruno included.
Nice.
I hope those accents were okay. I tried my best.
Yeah, they were actually pretty good.
Yes!
Alrighty. So, first up with story. Like, getting into, like, the story and whatever. You guys know what I'm trying to say. I felt that this was a really solid story. Like, I loved how they went through, how they flowed through the issues that all of the family members were having, and how every family member was kind of having, like, a, their power just kind of revolved around some sort of burden that they were taking upon themselves. Like, I'm assuming the birth order for Mirabelle and her sisters was Louisa was the oldest.
No, actually.
No?
No, Isabella is the oldest.
Interesting.
Yeah, Isabella, it's said that Isabella is 21, Louisa is 19, and Mirabelle is 15.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, I would have assumed they were a little bit older, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mirabelle does not look 15.
No. Again, I probably would have gone 18, 19.
Yeah, or at least 17.
Yeah, like, bare minimum, I would have believed 17, but...
Yeah.
Whatever, like...
What do we know, right?
Yeah, like, it kind of, like, when you tell me that she's 15 and still living in the nursery, I'm just like, oh, yeah, she's a child.
Yeah.
Geez, shit, like, how old was what's his face? Oh, shit. Antonio, how old was Antonio? Like, what's coming of age?
I don't know. Let's see.
Like, if they say anything above 7, I'm going to be...
He's 5.
5?
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Okay. Because Camilo is 15 and Dolores is 21.
Okay. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, but doesn't... I don't know, maybe it's just the way that they're drawn, but Camilo definitely looks a lot younger than Mirabelle.
He looks so much younger than Mirabelle. We'll see how that affects anything moving forward. But anyway, Yeah, so I don't know. I felt like the flow was really good, and like going back to what I was saying about like the birth order. It's kind of interesting to see what kind of like trauma the kids were kind of taking upon themselves and how it related to their gifts. Because at first glance, it's just like, oh, like super cool abilities, like Isabella can make flowers grow, and like it just is like flawless perfection, and Luisa is super strong, and I think it's Dolores has the ability to control weather, but they're like tied to her emotions.
No, that's Peppa.
That's Peppa. Shit. Like,
Yeah.
which one's Dolores?
Dolores is the one that can hear.
Jeez, I need like. I'm looking at the cast list right now. I need like a freaking picture.
Like a family tree.
I'm actually looking that up. An Encanto family tree.
I love it.
Okay, they have a really good one, but
it doesn't say the names.
It doesn't have the names.
Of course. Of course.
Like, shit. Whatever, I can work with this, I think.
Okay, alright.
But anyway, I love how, like, just at first glance, all of their powers seem like really helpful to the community and seem like supernatural, but when you start to kind of deep dive into the characters themselves, you kind of begin to understand what issues they have in regards to their abilities.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I feel that was definitely more showcased with Mirabelle and her sisters. You didn't really get to see that a lot with oh my gosh, Antonio. Oh my god, how am I forgetting his name already? Oh my god, Camilo. Wow. So Antonio, Camilo, and Dolores. I feel you didn't really get to see a lot from how their gifts affected how they felt mentally.
Yeah.
Well, I guess. Well, actually, wait, no. Like, well, I don't know. Dolores. The only thing that you really got to see her go through that was like a struggle was that with Bruno, when he would have like these visions, she was told that the man of her dreams would always be out of reach. She would never be able to live happily ever after.
Yeah, but that's not really a that wasn't really like a trauma in regards to her power.
That's true.
It's not even like a trauma that they themselves have. It's like maybe even a role of the family.
Yeah.
That you can like take from, like with Isabella, the golden child, the one that always feels like they have to be perfect all the time. And then like Louisa's the one that takes all of the family burden and carries that with them at all times, like with super strong. Dolores kind of just being, I don't really know how to tie her in because like it's super listening.
It's honestly hard because Maribel and her sisters all get their own song explaining, how what their struggles are, whereas Felix
the cousins don't really get that.
Yeah, Felix and Peppa's kids do not get numbers themselves. The only time that Camilo and Antonio never gets a chance to shine really in any of the songs. The only song that like Camilo and Dolores get to shine in are We Don't Talk About Bruno. But other than that, they don't really get a lot of chances to shine in the songs.
Yeah, but I mean, someone on TikTok pointed out that with Camilo, his ability to shapeshift is kind of playing whatever role he feels he needs to play and not really being his true self.
Yeah.
And then like the two that I had a hard time like trying to figure out what their deal was Antonio and Dolores. And I'm like, I don't really know what you're like for. Like I understand how like everyone in the community, how their powers help the community.
Yeah.
Or how everyone in the house, how their powers affect the community. Like, I don't know what Abuela's powers were, if she had one, because she had a special room too. But so it kind of like made me feel like she has a gift, but like not knowing what it is.
I always thought that her gift was just like being like the start of this all, like keeping the family together, which she wasn't doing the best of the job throughout the movie.
Like with Peppa, is that her name? Peppa?
Yeah, Peppa.
Okay, yeah, Peppa. Her ability to control the weather with her emotions, and being able to like bring water or bring sunshine or bring whatever to the community, like that makes sense. Like that seems helpful. Bruno's ability to like tell the future seems pretty helpful. Shit, what's her mom's name?
Is that
Julieta? Yeah. Julieta, Mirabelle's mom, being able to heal people with her food. Like, all of those make sense to helping the community. Luisa being super strong, that, like, makes sense to helping the community. But Isabella being able to grow flowers, I don't understand how that helps the community. Other than making it pretty, I guess.
When you're having a bad day, I don't know. Brighten it up with some flowers.
Yeah, Antonio's ability to talk to animals. Like, I guess you could just tell the animals, like, hey, don't eat these crops or whatever. So I guess that's somewhat helpful.
Yeah.
Camilo is a little bit on his special side because shape-shifting, and he, like, the things that he was able to do was turn into like this baby's mother to like help soothe the baby, which I'm like, I mean, it's kind of helpful.
Yeah, and then when they're setting up for Antonio's party, he's able to turn into the guy that's hanging the sign and help him finish it.
Yeah, so I mean, you could have just gotten another super tall person, but whatever.
That's
Dolores is super hearing. Like, what the hell does she do to help the community?
I don't know. She can hear when the town is gossiping about the Madrigals. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's just some of those were just like a little funky, but anyway. Oh,
I'll give him
I
kudos,
meant to bring it up too while I'm like talking about it. So apparently, some of the artists on this movie were like took to Twitter or took to social media and were basically ratting out Disney for the fit that they were throwing over Luisa's character design.
What?
Yeah, they were like, Disney was throwing a big old fit. Like, no, Luisa cannot look like that. Like, super muscly and all that. And they're like, no, like, she can't. Like, you guys, you have to change her. And they were so insistent, like, no, we're not changing her. And Disney finally, like, gave in and was like, all right, fine, whatever. And started producing a shit ton of Isabella merch that is doing horribly because people want Luisa merch.
Oh, that is a huge bitch slap to Disney, and I love it.
I know, right?
Oh, that is amazing. Kudos to the creators for sticking with their guns and sticking with their original character design. That's awesome.
Yeah, but, like, it's so funny because, like, everyone's saying, like, yeah, Luisa is the most popular character that's not Mirabelle.
Yeah, I was going to say, why would they be pushing Isabella merch when they should be pushing the main character of this?
Yeah,
Mirabelle?
well, they have Mirabelle merch.
Oh,
but
okay.
like what they were doing was like making a real push for Isabella and Mirabelle, and then they just kind of like had all the other cousins off to the side a little bit. Like basically all the other characters were off to the side, but they were doing a really strong push for Mirabelle and Isabella, thinking that those two were going to be the most popular.
I didn't
but
like
no.
Isabella until the end of this movie.
Do what?
I didn't like Isabella until the end of this movie.
I know, but it was just the fact that she's like
Yeah.
pretty and perfect and
Yeah.
all that. That's why Disney thought that she was going to be like really popular.
Yeah.
And then it ended up being Mirabelle and Louisa
That makes
were
me so
like
happy.
the top like merch sellers. So
That
Disney
is
was like
awesome.
struggling to get enough Louisa merch out.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, freaking awesome. Like I love when shit like that happens. Just like a big old middle finger to Disney.
It really is.
Like just let freaking artists do what they do.
Yeah, seriously.
Anyway, getting back to like the story. I loved everything that you could take from this. Like all of the in-depth look that you can take into the characters, and I love how the story flowed and kind of became a story of like of healing.
Yeah, I would agree
Like
with that.
at least that's how I would describe it. Just a story of healing.
Yeah. I mean, I loved that the story strictly kept to the Madrigal's house and the surrounding town of it. Mirabelle never had to venture off into the big open world to save the miracle. It literally just stayed in this one area, and I loved that so much.
Yeah, I love that too. Like, I was kind of afraid. I'm like, oh, she's going to go explore the mountains of the Encanto. But no, she just goes to frickin' Bruno's room, which is like super big.
Well, because remember, I think like in the trailer, it looks like that. That she leaves and goes to that, but no, yeah, she just goes into Bruno's room. That's why.
Yeah, that, like, I loved that. Like, because it makes sense. Like, how else are you going to fix a magic house? Like, the magic is centered around this freaking house. Like, you don't leave the house. Like, I loved that. I thought it worked so freaking well. I thought the whole thing with Bruno and not talking about Bruno and like that whole gag was incredibly done.
Did you catch him like jamming out in the background?
Brielle showed it to me this morning.
I love that so much.
That was hilarious.
Oh man. Kudos to the animators for putting in that little detail. That was amazing.
Yeah. But it was like, this was just a really solid story that flowed really well. Helped you relate to the characters, and you could relate with any of these characters, just depending on what family trauma you've taken with you.
Yep.
And yeah, like it was nice to see, and also seeing that I have to like, it's Latinx, however you want to say that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just that representation of that culture.
Oh, okay.
Like,
gotcha.
It's the they them version of saying that.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm trying to be inclusive. I think that's the word.
I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but like that's what I think it's called. But yeah, just seeing that Latin culture represented, and just the Colombian culture represented as well, and like showing that there's not one color of Latin people.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, like just seeing all of those different representations, telling this amazing story about family is great to watch. It was so great to watch. And it was funny when it needed to be. It didn't throw. I felt like this could have gotten super preachy.
That's fair.
About like family trauma and whatnot, and I don't think that's what people need. I think people just need to understand, like, hey, just like accept the people in your family for who they are.
Yeah.
So I loved this story, and like I had so few issues with it.
Same here.
Where are you at?
Sitting, I agree with every single thing that you said. I'm going to 95.
A 95?
Yeah.
Ooh, damn. I might go a little bit lower. Not much. I think I'm going to be at a 92.
All right.
I thought it was really good. I think there were just like some minor issues I had, like very, very minor. Like, I'm trying to think of like improvements to the story that I would have made. But it's hard to think of any because the story is just so well done. I think the only reason I'm going to dock is I think some things might have gone on a bit longer than they needed to. maybe more like gags than anything, but
I'll give you one.
I swear,
that
I've watched
I
this
feel...
one like 3 or 4 times.
I can think of one gag that I feel it's funny, but when you think about it, you're just like, that's kind of gross. It's when they're all at the dinner table, and Camilo shapeshifts into the guy that's going to propose to Isabella, and does the kissy face to her, and she throws the flowers in his face. I don't know, just him. I get like he transforms into that guy, but still doing the kissy face at your cousin. I'm sorry, I ain't doing no Sweet Home Alabama in Encanto. So
I don't think that's like Sweet Home Alabama. Like when you're really close to your cousins, you kind of do give each other that level of shit. It's kind of like a sibling. In a way, like
I was never close. Okay, yeah, I would do that probably with I would do that with my sister, but unfortunately, I don't think I ever got that close with my cousins.
Yeah, like that's the situation because they all live together. Like it's hard to.
Enough.
I feel like it would be really hard to not feel that sibling-like relationship.
That's okay. Fair enough.
So I think that's what I got out of it. I'm like, okay, it's just a bunch of kids living together, and this really immature one being like, ew.
All right, I withdraw my not skepticism, but my I don't know, whatever the hell I was going to call it.
If I'm docking for anything, it's just how it seemed like they were saying like, oh, the family helps the community with their gifts, and I'm like, okay, but some of these abilities don't really help the community. Like Dolores's, like she was treated like any other member of the family, but how was her gift helping the community?
Literally all it can help with is eavesdropping.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It didn't help with like shit.
Yeah.
Like unless she was just like, "Oh, I can hear people coming from outside the Encanto or whatever." But even then it's just like, okay, what use does that do? So I think that's like the biggest one.
That's fair.
If that was like the goal of the magic, to help the community. Because that's kind of what Abuela made it seem like it was going to be.
Yeah, that's...
So, yeah, if anything, that's why I'd be docking. And just the occasional slow parts.
Alright.
But other than that, like, it was a really solid story. But that brings us to a 93.5. Moving on over to writing. I feel this was really well written.
I feel this was just as strong as the story.
I wouldn't quite go that far.
Ooh, damn. All right, we're gonna be throwing some fists here, guys. I'm just kidding.
Gosh, I have like that sickness brain, so it's hard for me to like think.
Same. Dude, I'm having that, and I literally watched this movie. Like, not finished, but I was watching this movie like 30 minutes before we started recording.
I know, I friggin' watched it this morning. But it's just like, at the end, I was just like, this is great.
It's a great movie. Yeah.
I know, I need to stop watching the movies like right before, because I have such a biased opinion, or I feel like I have a stronger bias to fight against.
Yeah, I've kind of
especially when it's a good
too.
movie like this. Like, I feel like if I leave it, like, let it set for a couple days and like really absorb it, I can come up with shit to bitch about. But it's so hard to with this one.
It is, because I watched this for the first time like 2 weeks ago, and even from then to here, I still struggle to find things to bitch about, because it's a pretty rock solid story.
Yeah, like, I think my biggest issue with the writing was kind of when Louisa was losing her powers and just like constantly crying.
I mean, I thought it was funny. It worked.
It was funny, but I think it just went on a little too long. Like,
Okay.
for someone, like, she wasn't, for someone who is playing this role of the strong person in the family, and just constantly having these emotional breakdowns was just a bit much.
Like, when she's asked to get the piano and she's already crying at the table, I feel it would have probably been maybe a little better if she doesn't start crying until she can barely even move the piano, and then she starts bawling.
Yeah, like, just, like, give us that build up. Like, it's just the constant crying was a lot.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, it was really funny. And then I think another one that I had an issue with was and this was actually part of the song, We Don't Talk About Bruno. It wasn't until like Isabella was introduced, and then she's coming down, like, talking about what Bruno said her life would be, comes down to the ground, and then she like stands up and then tells Mirabelle, like, shut up. Like, I don't want to hear anything out of you. And like, I tried looking at the lyrics because I had like subtitles on, but I'm like, what the hell did that have to do with anything? Like,
Well, because, she's saying, I don't want a sound out of you because it's the night of her proposal.
yeah, but that's not what they were talking about.
Well, yeah, but that was kind of working into it. Because, like, they're just like, that, I think the next part is Camilo saying, oh, hey, your boyfriend's here, and then it leads into the dinner scene. I think that's why.
Hold on, I need to I'm looking up the frickin' lyrics. Well, that is less than helpful. I frickin' Googled... What the shit? I Googled the We Don't Talk About Bruno, the lyrics, and it's in Roman.
What the hell? Oh, okay.
What the hell is that? Alright, here we go. Here's an English version. Okay, so this is how it goes. So it says, like, he told me that the life of my dreams would be promised and someday be mine. He told me that my power would grow like the grapes that thrive on the vine. And then, yeah, then what's his face says Mariano's on his way. Then Dolores, he told me that the man of my dreams would be just out of reach, betrothed to another. It's like I hear him now. Isabel, I want not hey sis, I want not a sound out of you. And then that's it. And then the rest of it's like, then the rest of the song is about Bruno. Like, there's no good reason for... Shit. Is there a good reason?
I mean, I feel that there is, but...
I don't know. I felt like that just seemed like super bitchy and came out of nowhere.
I mean, yeah, but she was already coming across as bitchy to Mirabelle.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That line did not feel out of
confession was a bit
at all.
much, too. Because, like, she was just saying, like, telling Mirabelle, like, you ruined my life. Like, freaking how? Like, we haven't seen, like, at least unless I'm, like, completely spacing this, I don't recall Mirabelle directly affecting Isabella in any way. Like, I don't feel like there was anything that, like, Isabella was trying to do that Mirabelle just ruined, like, on accident or otherwise.
None that I can think of off the top of my head. But
yeah,
I
other than yeah, there was like nothing that like directly affected her, and it felt like Isabella had such anger and aggression towards Mirabelle when nothing she's done has like affected her in any way. It's always kind of just affected that whole family. And so I feel like the whole family kind of has like a little bit of a bitterness, but Isabella just kind of has like extra towards Mirabelle, and it's like,
I think it's because of her being built up to having to always be perfect, and Mirabelle kind of getting in the way of that in that situation of her, ruining her proposal and all that stuff. She's just like, hey,
but this was like pre-proposal, so like I understand that's true. The aggression after,
yeah,
it's just before. It feels like there is very strong aggression towards Mirabelle that I don't feel is quite deserved, or at least if it is deserved, we don't see a good reason for why.
I mean, it might just be because, I don't know, and like you said, yeah, it's not shown and it's not earned with how Isabella is, perfect. She can, create flowers at will. Whereas, Mirabelle never got a power, so she always thought that she was better than Mirabelle. So whenever she got in her way, she's just like, get out of here. She was kind of the bitchy big sister.
Maybe. Gosh, I'm going to have to watch this movie again, aren't I?
I think you do. I got to watch it again, too, and no problems with that.
Yeah. But for me, it like that was a lot of the problem. And for a family that was super hard about doing service for the community, it felt like they were really trying to exclude Mirabelle from helping the community.
I don't know if that was the whole family's decision. It felt like it was more so Abuela, right? Abuela?
You feel like it was just like her?
I don't know. It kind of really felt like that, but I don't know. At the same time, like Felix's family never really reached out to see if, hey, Mirabelle, can you help us with this? And even Mirabelle's parents really didn't reach out and be like, I feel it was kind of like they were not like under Abuela's spell, but they felt if they stepped out of line and tried to involve Mirabelle in some way, then their Abuela would just be like, well, she doesn't have a power, so she can't help in that way.
Huh.
It all goes back to Abuela.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, just because I love how much you can like t- tear apart this movie just to like hyper analyze it. Someone released like a TikTok discussing the roles in a toxic household that each of the Encanto characters play, and they were classifying Abuela as the abuser.
Oh.
So like that completely makes sense for what you
Yeah.
just said. Like if you classify Abuela as the abuser in this household, and everyone in the household is not wanting to upset Abuela, it would make sense that they kind of push Mirabelle off to the side because of Abuela's feelings about Mirabelle.
I do appreciate, though, not throughout, but there are moments when her parents actually like step up to Abuela and say, "You've always been too hard on her." I loved those parts where Mirabelle's parents actually stood up for her.
Yeah, I loved that. Like when especially like her dad. Like her dad seemed completely unfazed that she had a Bruno vision.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, or at least that particular vision, and he's just like looks at it, doesn't even like have a oh my gosh, like what is this? He's just like freaking hide it. Like we cannot deal with this right now. Which I love that about the dad.
Yeah, I loved how when Abuela's just like, "Why didn't you tell me about what was happening?" And he actually just like stands up. He's like, "I was doing what was best for my daughter."
Yeah, like
That was a great father moment right there.
That was an amazing father moment. Like so good. Like so freaking good. Like yeah, cuz it's like I don't know, like I feel like his allegiance would be to his family, his daughter. Like he doesn't give a shit about what what anyone else thinks. Like if it's going to affect his daughters, like he's not going to have it. And I loved that.
Yeah.
Like this is freaking great. Yeah, just like the deep analysis you can go on this, like talking about like the traumas that everyone represents, the role in the toxic household that everyone represents, or just like a bunch of different like aspects that you can look into this movie about is so interesting. And the like just the overall writing of this was, I feel, was really well crafted. There was maybe a few lines here and there that I felt were a little bit wasted. And I wasn't the biggest fan of some of the lines that were in some of the songs. Not all of them, but just like here and there.
Interesting.
But,
okay.
Yeah, so I'm kind of including the songs here, just the lyrics of the songs on the writing.
Oh, for me then it's 100. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But yeah, for me personally, I think I'm going to go an 88 for the writing.
Okay.
Just with all the little minor issues that I had.
I will agree with you. You've definitely talked me down a little bit. The writing does it is a little worse than the story, but not by much. So I'm gonna go a 91.
Nice. All right, moving on over to acting. We have Stephanie Beatrice, who voiced Mirabelle. Maria Cecilia Botero, who voiced Abuela. John Leguizamo, who voiced Bruno. Mauro Castillo, who voiced Felix, Jessica Darrow, who voiced Luisa, Angie Cepeda, who voiced Julieta, Carolina Gaitan, who voiced Peppa, Diane Guerrero, who voiced Isabella, Wilmer Valderrama, who voiced Augustine, Renzi Feliz, who voiced Camilo, Ravi Kabat Conyers, who voiced Antonio, Adasa, who voiced Dolores, Maluma, who voiced Mariano. Oh, wait. I didn't mean to include him. My bad. Anyway,
Oops.
that is the entire Madrigal family. Anyway. All right, top 3.
Number 1, I definitely gotta give it to Maribel. Amazing. Great, wonderful job. 2, I would actually give it to Felix. I thought his voice actor did an amazing job. Yeah, I thought he did an amazing job.
Interesting pick.
Really? Yeah. No, I loved his character. He was also a really good dad. I feel both of the dads in this movie were really good.
Dude, they were amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. I love their dynamic in the family, considering that they don't have abilities.
Yeah.
And this is kind of maybe another reason why I feel like Mirabelle not having powers was, and the way that she was treated was felt so off, because Felix and Augustine, they didn't have powers. And it's like, I don't feel like they were treated like lesser family members.
No, I mean,
so maybe that. I'm wondering if it's just like Abuela not feeling like they're part of the group and not, or I don't know. I'd love to I dive into Abuela's relationship with them.
I think the way that it goes with that is Abuela knows that, hey, they just married into the family, so of course there's no way that they were going to have powers, whereas Mirabelle is an actual born daughter into the family. She is the daughter of Julieta, so she should be able to have an ability.
You are absolutely correct. Huh. Okay. I can see that. I can definitely see that.
That's just the way that I look at it.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely get behind that concept.
Yeah.
One thing
sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. This is like
no,
total
you're good,
side
man.
note.
Don't apologize.
I'm wondering how dynamically the bloodline works. There are it's interesting because the first generation of people with powers was Bruno and his 2 sisters. Mm-hmm. Bruno was unmarried. So his 2 sisters were the ones that gave birth to the children with abilities. So I'm wondering, how would that work if Bruno got married and had kids? Would his kids be granted an ability?
I mean, they
because
should.
it's hit. Because his wife doesn't have or his wife wouldn't have an ability or wouldn't be given one.
Yes.
So would she be able to give birth to a child that doesn't have, would she be able to give birth to a child that has an ability? Or that doesn't have an ability? It's interesting because the only other 2, because we know how it works with the women.
Yeah.
But we don't know how it works with the men. Because
that's
their wives don't have an ability. It's interesting.
Ideas for Encanto 2. I'm kidding.
Yeah, maybe. Like, that was just something I was thinking about. Like, wait, would Bruno's kids be able to get abilities? Because, I mean, they'd still be part of the family tree. It's just, I don't know how that'd work. Anyway,
yeah,
sorry.
No, dude,
who's
you're good.
your other pick for your top three?
That's hard. Like, I had those two solid, those two locked in. I don't know, I give it to Bruno, John Leguizamo.
Yeah, that's a really good pick.
What's funny about that is, I think it was said that Lin-Manuel Miranda like really wrote the character Bruno for him to voice him, but then Disney decided, oh no, we're gonna have John Leguizamo voice him.
What? Why?
I don't know. So I think Lin-Manuel Miranda's kind of bitter about that.
I'll be 100% real. I did not know that going into the first time. I did not know that John Leguizamo voiced Bruno. I assumed it was going to be Lin-Manuel. But then when he was talking, I'm just like, that doesn't sound like him. like the voice doesn't match. Like John's voice does not match Bruno's face.
That's fair. I mean, I thought for the most part it did, at least to me. But I feel that Lin-Manuel Miranda's face probably, or not face, oh my god, voice probably would have worked better.
Yeah, actually, someone did someone who does like a really solid impersonation of Lin-Manuel did a deep cut of Bruno's song.
Oh, that's awesome.
And actually like did the whole song as in character as Lin-Manuel, and it actually sounded like way better.
Oh shit.
I'll have to send it to you when
we're
done. If I can find it again. But that was like my big complaint with it, like when he was singing, like because I thought it was going to be Lin-Manuel, and so I think that's maybe where I got thrown off because I was expecting him.
Yeah, as was I.
But why would Disney freaking do that? Like, you're just paying for, like nothing against like John Leguizamo, but you're paying for the name.
Yeah, I think that's the point. They wanted a big name that they could slap on the poster, probably.
Dude, freaking why?
I don't know.
Like, I feel like Lin-Manuel's a better selling point than John Leguizamo.
What? Sid from the Ice Age isn't a huge selling point?
Well,
that he plays Sid, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just like, what's the last? Okay, I'm gonna look up his IMDb. But what was the last thing you remember seeing John Leguizamo in?
Besides Ice Age?
Besides Ice Age.
The Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see. Like, okay. Encanto. So let's see what's like the last thing that everyone would have seen. He did a voice in The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
In one episode.
Oh.
So I probably not going to count that. John Wick Chapter 2. He was in that.
I've never seen any of the John Wick movies, so.
And then before that was Ice Age. So he hasn't been in like anything that we would have seen since 2016.
God damn.
But Lin-Manuel Miranda, on the other hand, like I'm going to look up his IMDb and see how far back we could go with him. Like how far back he's worked on stuff.
I mean, the biggest thing that I remember him like actually like being playing an actual role in and not, like writing the music and stuff was definitely In the Heights, because he plays like the Piragua man. I think that's his name. And then also Mary Poppins Returns when he played Jack.
Yep.
And he was really good in that movie, and I hate that movie didn't do better.
Yeah, so he did a voice in Vivo, that animated movie.
I don't know what the hell that is.
It's one on Netflix. Not a bad movie.
Oh, okay.
The music's pretty freaking killer.
Right.
Yeah, Vivo, then In the Heights, Hamilton.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Mary Poppins Returns. So yeah, and that's pretty recent. Like even freaking Mary Poppins Returns, like that was back in 2018. So yeah, he's a lot more recent, and he's like a huge name in the music industry right now.
Oh yeah,
or at least the music
has been for a while.
Yeah, so it's like personally for a musical, like this is a bigger. Lin-Manuel is a bigger name than John Leguizamo when it comes to a musical. Yeah. So Disney screwed up. Not saying John Leguizamo did a bad job, because I think he did a great job, and he's actually my number 3 as well.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, my number 1, I think, freaking is Mirabelle.
Yeah, she was so good.
Yeah, Stephanie Beatrice did an amazing job. And it's so weird to think that she voiced and did the singing for Mirabelle.
Because, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, because like, have you ever watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No.
So she plays this character, Rosa, and she is like the most monotone character of that entire show. Like, she talks with like a super deep voice and like very monotone, doesn't put any inflection in her voice or anything. So it's so interesting to see her in like in Encanto, for one, where she's like having to put in like a bunch of like inflection in her voice and like being hyper and yeah, just putting like a bunch of enthusiasm behind her voice and even singing. Like, this blew my mind. Like, I was like, okay, they probably just did like a Mulan thing and got someone to sing for her. No, she freaking did the singing. I'm like, it's so weird. It is so freaking weird. But yeah, she did an amazing job. Just blew me away. My number 2 is, I'm actually going to give to Louisa.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
There was like a big moment where she was being like interrogated by Mirabelle. That was like, I was almost a little concerned that they got a man to voice her, because she's just like, no, and I'm like, ooh, okay, mild roid rage. But yeah, I thought she did an amazing job with everything. Like, pulled the even though I thought the crying was a bit excessive, she did, like, was an amazing singer. Like, she did a great job on the song, and just played the character really well.
Yeah, she really did.
Like, she was for me, like, top character. Like, she was great, other than Maribel. So yeah, she's like a really close number 2, and then my number 3 is Bruno.
Alright, I like it.
Overall, what are you putting everyone else's score at?
I feel everyone else did an amazing job. I really don't have any problems with any of the other people. Even the I'm assuming it's a kid voice actor that did the voice of Antonio. I think he did a great job as well.
his I had mild issues with, and it's just like child performer issues.
I thought he did a really good job, especially that scene where Maribel and Antonio are under the bed and they have that like moment together. I feel for being a little kid. I don't know if that really is a little kid. I feel that they did a really good job getting the emotional that emotional scene. I'm butchering this so badly. Oh my god. F you, COVID, you're messing with my brain. They implemented the emotions very well in that scene. And I don't know if that made sense, but I'm going with it.
Yeah. For me personally, I'm at maybe an 87 overall with acting. I think some of the extras I had issues with. And then Antonio was one I had some issues with his performance. And it was just, like, the emotional scene, like, under the bed was really good. But it was when he, like, suddenly appeared in Bruno's space and was talking about, like, basically saying the rats told me everything. Like, for some reason, like, I just didn't, like, feel his performance as strongly in that.
All right.
So I don't know what the issue was there, but it was just like brought it down a little bit, and then everyone else I think was just pretty average. It wasn't like blowing me away by any means, but the top 3 that I chose were like amazing.
That's how I feel about my top 3 as well.
Yeah, so I think 87 is being pretty fair.
Now you're gonna hate me because I'm gonna go a 98. I'm just kidding. I'm going a 90.
I was gonna say, holy shit, we haven't differed like that in a while.
No, no.
All right, well that averages us out to an 88.5. All right, moving on over to character development. I think we both agree we're going to be talking about Mirabelle.
Oh, I thought we were doing Bruno. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, I feel like if this one's tough because I feel like you could do the Madrigals as a whole.
That's fair.
Or even Abuela.
Yeah, but
because like I feel like
Maribel.
Yeah, I feel like Mirabelle was pretty consistent, like character-wise throughout. Like, she always had, like, this hope that things could get better with her family. She was trying to save the magic. Like, she was trying to do her part to save the family even when her family was, like, kind of casting a shadow upon her.
You know what was the funniest shit that I saw in a TikTok? When the song when she points out, like, how she doesn't have a power. Someone pointed out, bullshit, she doesn't have a power. She's able to slow down time. When they're taking the picture. How is no one noticing this?
Fair enough.
I'm like, you know
kind
what?
Kind of the same
Good
situation
point.
we had with Jasmine in the Aladdin remake.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway.
But I mean, yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I loved watching her character development going from how, I mean, it isn't showcased until, like, I actually love that they didn't showcase right at the beginning that she didn't get a power. Literally, as she's reaching for the doorknob, it appears, the title appears, and it's not until you're literally through the first song that you find out that she did not get a gift. And just watching her throughout this whole movie, realizing that, hey, you know, even though I didn't get a gift, I can still, attribute to this family. Even though it seems like I get cast aside sometimes, I still love this family. And just, I loved watching her grow throughout this movie. It was so good.
Yeah, it was kind of hard watching her trying to put forth this effort to be a part of the family when the family didn't really seem to share or didn't seem to put forth any like efforts towards her. Like her mom did, like try to give her like just trying to relate to her, but she was still doing her own thing. And
the only cousin I feel that like not even her like sisters reached out. It was more so even her cousin. It was more so her cousin Antonio when he says, "I wish that you had a door."
Yeah, like that was
a sweet moment.
That was a really sweet moment, and it was like you understand that too because they've been sharing a room for the past however long Antonio's been in that room.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when they stop sleeping or how long the kid sleeps in their mom's room and then has moved into the nursery. I don't know.
Yeah, like if they do that.
Yeah, I don't know the whole story with the Madrigals.
Yeah, but like she's putting like I said, she's putting forth all this effort and getting very little love in return. And then she goes forth to she sets out on this mission to discover what's going on with the magic because her family's more or less ignoring the problem. And so seeing her struggle with that was like really great, and this is kind of why I would even consider doing the Madrigals as a whole, or even Abuela. But it's just, you kind of see her, like, Mirabelle's, like, highs and lows when it comes to, like, discovering the issues with the magic and everything. And it's, like, really, really nice to see that. Like, I don't feel like you see too often characters struggle with, like, an internal battle, or not internal. Like, I feel like oh, jeez, freaking real hard discussing this. I don't feel like you see very often characters dealing with outer struggles too much when it comes to like outside relationships. So if I consider part of Mirabelle's development to be her relationship with her family and how it goes from being like kind of good to like completely awful and then just from that and then building to greatness when they figure out like the whole magic situation and discovering that like, hey, we don't need this magic because we're family.
And honestly, I feel it was never really bad with any of the others. It was really with Abuela that there was really there was bad blood towards the end.
Yeah, but I feel like Abuela was kind of like I said, if you consider who they are in the roles of a toxic household or a toxic family, she is the abuser. So she is the one that's heading up all of the other family members' negative feelings towards Mirabelle.
Okay, yeah, you got a point there. I forgot about that.
Like, I feel like there's a lot of, like, maybe side comments from Abuela. Or just the way that Abuela seems to exclude Mirabelle.
Yeah.
Like, I think she's like, oh... Like, she tries to include her, like, oh, could you help with this? Could you help with that? And then once Mirabelle makes a mistake with that, she's just like, okay, whatever. Like, I'll get someone else to do it. And so I feel like the family, like, how could the family not pick up on that?
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
But it's like, that's the kind of, like, situation that I was, like, reading into, and I felt that was, like, really impactful.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, so I really dug her development and the relationship, seeing how that evolved throughout this movie, and seeing like the little ways that it began to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Like starting out with Louisa and seeing basically getting that confession from Louisa and understanding what pressures she's under as the strong member of the family, and then basically giving Louisa permission to like not be strong.
Yeah.
And just like it was nice seeing that, like that relief that Louisa had, and then then that relationship kind of got better in a way. And then like having to do the same thing with Isabel, and having to deal with like this perfect sister, and understand, like kind of learning her struggles and getting that confession out of her, and like it was just like all of that going along, and like how bad her relationship with her family got. Like I loved watching that. Just because it was also just because they built it up so nice and strong. And yes. I think that one song at the end was really powerful, and just kind of like hit the development like right on the nose, talking about like, oh, we just need a new foundation.
Yep.
So it's just like, yes, that's exactly what you need. And then building off of that and becoming like the family that they like needed.
Yeah.
So I love that. And I'm having a real hard time docking for anything.
For me, personally, character development, I would give a 93.
I will actually agree with you on that. That's a really solid score for character development.
Hell yeah. Sweet.
All right, next up we got effects, which for this movie is the animation.
Beautiful.
It really was.
It was gorgeous.
They did such an amazing job. Like, it kind of had Coco vibes, and I know Coco was Pixar.
Dude, but I'm not even gonna argue you on that one, because I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, they did such a good job. Like, this didn't feel like the classic Disney. It didn't have like a classic Disney look to it. Like, they had more caricature like figures. Like, these characters didn't feel like the base models for like Tangled or Frozen. Like, this felt like a very different animation style. And so, like I said, feels a little bit more like Pixar than Disney in like the best possible way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, their visuals were just incredible. And they were able to hit everything on the head. Like, they hit the intense, just gut-punching moments super well with like all the like the dark imagery that we see, and the things that we're led to believe and understand. And like and then just the Encanto in general looked beautiful.
Dude, the way the doors lit up, oh my god. So beautiful.
Yeah. And dude, that is a hard freaking effect to do. To get it right. Like, I worked on it for like half an hour. Like, the episode art, like, if you guys can see it, like, go on our like Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Like, it was a chore to get the door to light up the way that it did.
It's so beautiful, guys. Caleb deserves a freaking award for what he was able to pull off.
Yeah, you're damn right. It looked freaking awesome.
I will admit, though, I appreciate you making me look a lot skinnier in our door. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I did that one was kind of weird for me to do.
Why?
Because I had to try and find like a character builder.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, because I was trying to find like a Disney character finder and then do the drawings by hand, but yeah, it was hard. Like that was honestly the best I could do. I'm just like, whatever, I'll just throw glasses on you and a different hairstyle and call it good.
Dude, you did a great job. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I think it looks like similar enough where you could like tell it's us.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I guess it's a good thing that one of us always wears glasses, so it's easy to distinguish us.
Yeah, I only need them for night driving.
Yeah, whereas I need them 24/7, except for when I'm sleeping. Otherwise, I'm effed.
Oh. But yeah, like animation-wise, like everything looked really good.
Dude, especially I freaking loved Camillo's transitions. Especially in We Don't Talk About Bruno, how he kept transitioning to Bruno back to him. Animation in that was spectacular.
It looked so good. Like his shape-shifting was interesting because it always seemed to have like a pop to it.
Yeah.
Like, unless you've seen it, like that's the best way that I can think to describe it. It always felt like it had like a pop, but in like a really interesting way. Like whenever he would like shrink down, it would like snap to place, and whenever he would change, it would like again snap, and then like a very very interesting take on the transformation. I'll say this: the one thing I didn't like about his transformation is when Dolores was whispering the secret about Bruno's vision.
Yeah.
And his face kind of went like crazy. Like I'm like, oh, okay, so you can like morph your face. Like because it was kind of, and I hate to say this or even bring this movie up, but remember the kid who can make like funny faces or morph his face from We Can Be Heroes?
Dare bring you son of a bitch.
That's the kind of vibe I got. I'm just like, he's a shapeshifter. He's not like polymorphic. I think that's the right word.
I mean, I don't know, the way that I look at it, maybe as he was changing, I don't know, like the face of another person got stuck onto his face or something. I don't know. I'm trying to make it sound better than him comparing it to We Can Be Heroes, because that movie's a piece of shit. And I don't like someone relating Encanto to that.
I know. I didn't feel good about it, but it had to happen. So yeah, I don't know what else to compare it to.
All right, okay.
That's the vibe I got. I'm like, okay, if his face would have just morphed into someone else's face, or if he just like kept switching to someone else's face, like that would have made sense. But his face kind of completely going to like jelly just was odd. Odd choices, but
okay.
I mean, not one I'm going to dock super hard for.
I love that, super
hard. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I wish we would have gotten to see more rooms.
Yeah, I would have loved to see Peppa's room.
Yeah, we got to see Antonio's room, which was awesome.
Yeah.
It was just like a big, massive tree. And then Isabella's room we got to see. And then we got to see like the nursery that Mirabelle was staying in.
We technically got to see Julietta's room because it was basically just a kitchen.
Was that her room? I thought that was just the kitchen.
Yeah, I think that was just the kitchen. Don't listen to me.
I'm like, that's kind of messed up.
It's like, oh, okay, I get it, Mom. I'm just a slave of cooking food now. Okay.
Yeah, but that's like one thing I wish that we would have gotten to see, and I think, like we said too, like I really appreciated not going too far outside of the house, and just kind of keeping the story. Like it still felt like very grand in scale.
Oh yeah,
but also just very tight. Like it was all in one place. Like it wasn't some like grand adventure, but it was just all kind of in the house, which I love that. Like I think that some movies might get distracted by being like, oh, we need to make this like a massive scaled movie. But I think they did really good at sticking within the house and whenever they went into town.
Yes.
But everything looked beautiful. So, shit, I might be in the 90s with this one too.
I'm going to go a solid 95 for me.
Ooh. I think I'm going to go down to a 93.
Okay.
Just because of the issues that I brought up.
No, it's understandable.
All right, next up we got music, which I am going to have a very unpopular opinion here.
I think he's going to.
Okay, this is a personal opinion, okay? My score, I'm just going to come out right now and say it. My score for this is 10.
Oh, okay, phew.
That being said, personally, I did not care for the music in this movie. I do not. Okay, I it looks like I just stabbed Rose in the heart.
He did. Oh my god.
There were definitely some catchy tunes, but none of them were ones that I care to listen to over and over again.
Do you know how many times We Don't Talk About Bruno has been on repeat on my Spotify shuffle?
Yeah, dude, Brielle. So that's been the same with Brielle. Like she plays We Don't Talk About Bruno, and she plays the Luisa's song.
Yeah, Brielle's got good taste.
Yeah, and I know that they're good songs. I just don't like them. They're just not like what I listen. They're not like what I choose to listen to. And the reason I'm giving the music a 10, regardless of my feelings towards the soundtrack, is because they had multiple songs that can get stuck in your head.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I'm looking for in music, and all the music fit really well with the movie. It's just I just didn't care for it, and it's because I'm not the biggest fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda's style of music. Okay. When he does musicals. It felt very rappy at times, and I cannot stand rap. And it's because I don't understand it, and I'm super hard of hearing. Or at least it feels that way. I can read along with rap.
Okay.
But if I'm just listening to it, if you were to play one verse of someone rapping at a normal rapping speed, not doing it super slow, and you're just all right, here, just this normal speed rapping, I could not tell you a single word that they said.
So even Eminem?
Yeah, Eminem's one. I cannot listen to their music without subtitles.
No, see, I can understand that. I understand.
It is so someone at work was playing this rap song, and they're like, dude, listen to these what's the term he used? Oh, bars. He's like, dude, you gotta listen to these bars. You gotta listen to these bars. And so he played it for me, and I'm sitting there working, and I'm like, he's like, dude, you freaking hear that? You freaking hear that? And I'm like, no. And he's like, all right, come back here, come over here, and like listen to it, like truly listen to it, man. And so I like sat with my head in front of the freaking speaker, and he played it again. And he's like, dude, freaking bars, right? And I'm like, I don't know what that means, and I don't know what he said. And then he's like,
seems to be speaking words of some kind.
Yeah. And so he like seriously grabbed his phone, looked up the lyrics, and like put them in front of me, and then like played the song. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, this is pretty good.
Oh,
I mean, I guess.
Third time's a charm, I guess.
Yeah, I know. But no, like I had to be reading it.
That's funny.
Because he tried playing it back.
Yeah.
Twice. Like once while I was working and kind of like somewhat distracted, and then twice while I was like right up next to the speaker. And then like the fourth time he's just like, just read it. I'm like, okay. And then I was able to like catch some of the stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. And he's like, you freaking ruined it.
Oh, that's funny. That is amazing.
Yeah. Dude, but that's like the same thing with like with TikToks DJ will send to me. If someone's rapping and it doesn't have subtitles, like I have no idea what they said, like at all. Luckily, more often than not, he will send me ones with subtitles, so
okay, all right.
I appreciate that, DJ.
That's good.
But anyway, yeah. So personally, if I were to give this a personal score, and you're gonna hate me, I'd give this a 7.
Oh, I'm out. Yep.
But I fully understand what this soundtrack is and how amazing it is.
Okay.
For this movie, what they were trying to pull off, and it has a couple catchy songs in it, which you can't ask for anything more than that.
Yeah. Considering how popular and how many, like, did you hear like how popular We Don't Talk About Bruno is?
No.
It's been downloaded / listened to more times than Let It Go.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's Disney's top earning song since the 90s.
Holy balls.
Yeah. So I'm going to be very surprised if this doesn't win for Best Original Song at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Because one, it deserves to win, and two, like, yeah, just listen to those numbers. That's just insane. I didn't think a song could beat Let It Go, but We Don't Talk About Bruno did.
Yeah, dude, if that doesn't even get like a nomination at the Oscars, like the Oscars are just bullshit. Like completely dead to me.
Dude, same here. If not one song from Encanto gets nominated, the Oscars are just dead to me.
Yeah, that's well. If it's we don't listen or we don't talk about Bruno, like that will like be the deciding factor, because I feel like they could also do Luisa's song because that one's pretty catchy. But
yeah, I would agree with that. I feel even the last song they could do. I think that one's really good as well.
Yeah, that one was really good. Like it was like all in Spanish, which I appreciated, but I love that they put up Spanish subtitles.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't talking
Spanish,
about that
English
one.
subtitles, so we can like understand what they were saying in English. Like I freaking love that.
I agree with that one too. Sorry, I was talking about the one where they're rebuilding the house.
Oh. Yeah, that was a good one too.
Sorry.
They had a lot of good songs. Like they had
I forgot
some
there was
good
a song
ones.
after
personally,
that one.
I did not care for them.
Understandable.
Yeah. So anyone who wants to like come at us and try and say like, "Oh, you can't completely get rid of bias," freaking bet. Like I did not like this soundtrack as much as most people do, and I still gave it a 10 because it freaking deserves it.
That's why I love this guy.
All right. Next up, we got costumes, which honestly I feel we can do for this one.
Yeah.
Because, like, everyone's costumes were, like, amazing.
They were... Dude, I love that Felix matched with his wife, Peppa. With them both wearing yellow. That was so sweet.
Yeah, that was awesome. But I loved how, like, just those small little details that you could see in, like, everyone's outfit.
Do you see, like, how when Mirabelle first puts on her, like, skirt and then she throws that bag over her, and you can see that her name is, like, stitched throughout the bag.
Yeah. And then, like, Louisa, like, around her skirt, like, the kind of, like, the lower portion of her skirt, it's all weights.
Yeah.
And then Isabel has, like, just flowers going down her skirt. I think someone was saying Dolores, she kind of had, like, sound waves on her dress.
I know, Pepe, is it Peppa? I think it's Peppa, right?
Yeah.
Her earrings are sundials.
That's cool. And then she just had, like, a bunch of, like, sun and, like, different weather patterns on her dress.
Yeah.
And then Camillo, he has chameleons on his shirt.
That is so cool. Oh my god, the attention to detail.
Yeah, like, just freaking love it. Just like just the little Easter eggs like that, like, are so good.
That is
And then I'm sure Antonio had, like, animals and shit on his clothes.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
But it's just like just those little details are just, like, so effective in an animated movie. Like,
dude,
these are characters with a very distinct silhouette.
Yes.
I think of the word, but yeah, like Mirabelle, like, has a very distinct silhouette. Like, most of the Madrigals have a very, like, distinct silhouette. Like, I think Dolores has one, Luisa, Mirabelle for sure. I'd even give one to, like, Abuela. Maybe even, like, Felix and Peppa. They have, like, them together have a very distinct silhouette. I think the ones that are a little bit more generic are, like, maybe Bruno and Giulietta and Augustine.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, theirs is a bit more on that general side, but I think everyone else, like, freaking look amazing. And just, like, the attention to detail on all of their dresses or their shirts or whatever, like, the freaking design team killed it.
Yeah, they really did. Just amazing.
Yeah, I think personally, and it's just because of the three, like, generic ones, I'm at a 9.
You're gonna hate me. I'm gonna go with 10.
Alright. So, if we do that, we're gonna have to round down. So that'll bring us to a 9.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah. And so last we got our own personal grade for this. So where are you sitting at?
Overall, I kick myself for sleeping on this movie. This would have absolutely made my top 5 of last year. Probably would have kicked Sing 2 out of my top 5 and took its place, maybe even higher. This is an incredible movie. The songs are incredible. They're toe tapping. They're catchy. I can't stop listening to this goddamn soundtrack. Characters are incredible. I hardly have anything bad to say about this movie. It is so good. So I'm going to 96. Oh, shit. My bad. My bad. Sorry about that, Caleb.
No, you're good. Oof. Yeah, this movie was so good. And what I love about movies like this is the deep dive that you can go into with the characters or the overall story, the character development. Like, I feel like I could talk for days about like each of the individual characters themselves. So I loved all that. I love the family dynamic and the lesson of healing and acceptance. And like it like this movie, I feel like this movie genuinely brought a tear to my eye. Like, especially when you go back and see and begin to understand exactly what Abuela has been through. Like, that was just heartbreaking. But, like, again, such good storytelling, and Disney's just killing it. Like, these Latin-based stories are just incredible. Like, it's insane how well they're pulling these off. Like, absolutely insane. So, me personally, I think I'm going to be at like a 90. I'm going to go to a 92. Which, that brings our personal score to a 94. And since that is the last category, the final All Bros letter grade for Encanto has come to A-.
Hell yeah.
Super well deserved.
Absolutely.
Super freaking well deserved. So it is sitting at a 92.81%.
Wow.
So let's see. Oh, damn. This is actually, like, out of the A- movies, this is actually, just because of how high it is, I'm going to pull up our A movies too. Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Dude, this movie cracked our top 10.
Yes. Oh, that makes me so happy.
Hell yeah. Alright, so this is A- movies and A movies that I'm going like up. Alright, so like I said, Encanto is sitting at a 92.81%, which puts it below Avengers Infinity War, which is at a 92.93, puts it below Room, which is at a 93.06, and then puts it below War of the Planet of the Apes, which is at a 93.12. Wow. Moving to the A movies, this one puts it below Avengers Endgame, which is at a 94.06, and The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which is at a 94.62. So that is everything that it is below. And the only reason I included the A movies were because there were only like 3 movies above Encanto. But this puts it above... Ooh, we're going to catch some shit. This puts it above Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
You know what? I'm not mad about that.
Yeah, right? I
love Into the Spider-Verse.
Upset about it.
I know he is, but I don't know. I love Into the Spider-Verse, but I love Encanto.
Yeah, so Into the Spider-Verse is sitting at a 92.59 compared to Encanto's 92.81. So it's 0.3% lower.
Wow.
It is also above Pulp Fiction, which is at a 92.43. It is above Joker, which is at a 92.37. And it is above A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which is at a 92.31. And then finally, it is above The Eternals, which is at a 92.25.
All right.
Yeah, so compared to Coco, the difference between Encanto and Coco is 1.4%.
Okay.
Like that's the difference. It's a little bit lower, but not by much.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, that's wild.
Wow.
Like that got way higher than I was expecting it to.
Same here, but I am so happy about that.
Yeah. Like there's not a single one that I disagree with.
Same here.
Like I think there's some that you can make like the argument, and I'm sure Vic will find a way to make the argument about Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But but Encanto was just incredible.
It was. Yep.
So yeah. That concludes this week's breakdown. If you liked this episode, want to check out more of our stuff, be sure to follow and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are basically everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, RadioPublic, Spotify, and more. You can also catch all of our episodes on YouTube, if you so choose. You can also follow us on social media. Hit us up with episode ideas. Answer our question of the week when we post them. Did you post Encanto?
No, you didn't send me it. And I forgot to ask you for it. We're both at fault.
Yep. Or if you want to join us for an episode, we would love to have anyone on. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search @TheAllBros. Or you can email us at theallbroschannel@gmail.com. Or if you want links to everything that we do, you can go to our website, which is tinyurl.com/theallbros. You can find a link to that in the episode description. And there, you can, like I said, you can find links to everything that we do, including our merch store, which is currently on TeePublic. I'm still working on switching it up, but it is taking a long ass time. But yeah, so be sure to hit us up if you want. We would love to hear from anyone, and be sure to tune in next week where we will be breaking down the 5th installment of Scream. Kind of bit myself in the ass there. But yeah, we'll be breaking down that movie next week. And I will attempt to get a special guest on for that one.
Okay.
But until then, this has been the All Bros Podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we will catch you guys next week. Deuces.
So long.
At least COVID hasn't affected Herbert that bad.
That's true. Nothing affects Herbert. Nothing.